Welcome to ITW 2025. I'm joined by Michael Wheeler, Executive Vice President, Head of Global Internet Network at NTT DATA. Thank you for joining us, Michael.
It's good to be here.
It's been a busy event for you, I can imagine.
Yeah, it has been.
How does NTT DATA differentiate itself as global IP network in such a competitive market?
I think for us, our probably biggest differentiator is the fact that we're running a global network across 5 continents and a whole bunch of countries. And so from a tier 1 internet provider perspective, we think that puts us in a pretty small category. There are other competitors that are similar, but it's not 50, it's probably more like 3 or 4.
Okay. And what services across the global IP network are in highest demand, and what does that indicate about your customer preferences?
Yeah, our primary focus for the business is IP transit, so that's really the biggest product, but of that IP transit offering, 400 gig has now become our kind of biggest demand. It's the largest scale interface that we can sell to a customer. It's pretty consistent with who the customers are that we target, so large scale internet-centric businesses, large telecoms and ISPs as well, who are customers, and delivering traffic of one variety or another to their downstream customers.
And with such an expansive footprint, what challenges do you face in maintaining a tier 1 global IP network, and how do you overcome those?
The biggest challenge is managing the amount of capacity that we need in different parts of the world, and it does vary a bit depending upon whether you're talking about certain countries in Asia versus the US versus maybe other countries in Europe. So that's a challenge, and then along with that comes just making sure that there's not only capacity, but that there's the right level of resiliency and redundancy in place to ensure that if there are issues, and there always are issues, that we can deliver service for the customers and make sure that they have what they need from a service point of view. So those are probably the 2 biggest challenges that we focus on.
And how do you ensure an optimal network performance for your internet-centric customers?
A little bit tied to what I just spoke about. I mean, having that capacity is certainly part of it, but we also find it critical to be able to provide our customers with the capabilities to drive their traffic however they want to. And so that's really driven off of software and automation and how we enable customers to use the network and really have their own autonomy in how they use that network capability. So our customers can be very sophisticated and have a lot of their own tools and a lot of their own systems in place that determine how their traffic flows, and so we want to make sure that we equip them to do that as much as possible.
And cybersecurity is a hot topic just now. What sort of security solutions do you offer your clients?
So we predominantly focus on network security, and within that network security kind of continuum, we have a product called DPS, DDoS Protection Service. We kind of have a broad spectrum of solution levels for customers. Some very basic stuff around access control lists, all the way up to, we this last year released a product called DPS Service Provider, where our service provider customers can buy DPS and essentially white label it to their end customers and offer it as a revenue stream for themselves as well. It's really tied to a core product called DPS Max, which provides automated mitigation of attacks, not just notification or awareness, but the ability to actually start to mitigate an attack when it occurs anywhere within the prefixes that they've announced to us.
And how is network automation playing a role in IP connectivity?
So it's been a critical part of our model for really since our beginning, since the late 90s, having a set of tools that allows our network operators, our NOC, our provisioning teams to utilize a programmatic environment as opposed to just doing router-specific configuration. So that automation, and there's a lot of other aspects to it as well, but that approach towards automation, that mindset towards automation has always been critical for our business, and I think it's critical within the industry as well at this point. But we would say we were very early in that process in the industry, but the industry has certainly caught up, and there's a lot of great other automation tools, things you can buy off the shelf or from other parties. Because we keep a team of software engineers and developers in-house who are also network engineers, and that allows us to continue to revise and update that software and drive it to the next kind of capabilities and features that we need across the network as the network continues to grow.
Another topic that we've discussed a lot at this particular event is AI. What is the impact of AI on your side?
So I would say the impact at this point has not been huge, but I think we're very early days of really understanding how to use it. We're using it in some operational ways, not to operate the network, but to do some essentially what I'll call troubleshooting or validation, if you will, of how network configuration is set up, of how traffic is flowing, and so that will continue to grow and expand. I mean, it's something we're spending a good amount of time with inside of NTT to really try to figure out what are the best leverage points. And I don't think we've figured it out yet. I think we're still learning by quite a lot. I think that's true in general, but we certainly would say we're in the early stages of that process. And
in terms of the IP connectivity landscape, what do you think will be the key trends? What do you see in the horizon?
I think in general terms, we'll just continue to see more and more traffic flowing across the network at large. I think Gen AI could drive some huge volumes of traffic when some of those capabilities are leveraged around larger data sets, so particularly video or graphical images. Everything AI for the most part now is driven around text-based items and pretty low volume. When we move into stuff that's Gen AI related that's much more around video, it'll drive huge volumes of traffic.
Yeah, it's an interesting time we're facing.
Yes, very much.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us at ITW. It's much appreciated.
That's good to be here.
And thank you for watching Capacity TV.